1, 2, 3, 4. IE Sports Radio. Let's kick it. From the Premier League to the Serie A, we're tracking the beautiful game every day. La Liga, Bundesliga, crossing the map, but we bring it right back for the CONCACAF snap. Yeah, the NWSL is setting the pace, and the MLS is running the race. Shin pads and shenanigans, we're taking the pitch from the local turf to the global switch. IE Sports Radio, the whistle blows loud. Jess and Big Mike, we're rocking the crowd.
Champions League on the Tuesday night lights.
World Cup summer's reaching incredible heights.
From J-League to Liga MX in the sun.
College pitches where the legends begun.
If the ball is rolling, we're breaking it down. The biggest soccer show in the whole I-town.
Shin pads and shenanigans, we're taking the pitch from the local turf to the global switch. IE Sports Radio, the whistle blows loud. Jess and Big Mike, we're rocking the crowd. Jess and Big Mike. Shin pads, shenanigans, we own the pitch.
All right. Welcome to Shin Pads and Shenanigans right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. I'm Jess, one half of Shin Pads and Shenanigans. Big Mike's not going to be here tonight, but he did another video. You can find us on X at shinpad_IESR. And speaking of Big Mike, let's see what video he sent us this week from Ireland.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Big Mike here, co-host of Shin Pads and Shenanigans on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Hope you've all had a great week, and I'm sorry I will not be joining tonight. Still in Ireland, and the Wi-Fi here is a little hit and miss, and there'll be more technical difficulties to the show, so and of course, not to mention it'll be 2 in the morning here, and I fly back to the States tomorrow. So unfortunately, I'll not be joining. But after this week, I'm back. I'm good. This was a trip of a lifetime. I encourage each and every one of you, if you ever have a chance to visit Ireland, Scotland, do it. It's such an amazing time. The people were amazing here. Big footballers as well. So it's been a lot of fun. But Jess has got some good stuff for you tonight. We watched this on Saturday, talking the World Cup. We talked about that big Chelsea signing. Kind of broke that near the end of the show, so that'll be spoken about, I'm sure. That's a big signing, big contract for Chelsea. I think that's actually a good thing for them to get back to not necessarily winning Premier Leagues, but at least getting back to where a brand like Chelsea probably should be. Like what we've seen as of late. So that'll be brought up. Obviously, a lot of MLS talk tonight, too. So for you MLS fans, a lot of news come out of there. So Jess will go over all of that, which will be very, very good. League of Mexico, kind of the MLS deal of no regulation. I'm going to guess to be a lot of people not so fond of that one, myself included. That's not like I was saying it, right? I'm a big fan of that thing. I wish MLS would do it. But hey, it is what it is as of today. So, some other news, obviously, Spain wins the World Cup, defeating Argentina 1-0. Probably should have been 3-0. If you're asking me, but it doesn't matter at the end of the day. Spain hoists a trophy. And rightfully so. I think any one of us who watched that match would know Spain was the better team. They just were. And if you saw us on Saturday, I wanted to pick Spain. I thought Spain would win, but the way Argentina was just doing their thing, and you can say that was good in Argentina. They may have had some assists along the way, but very, very good for Spain. Argentina kind of became the villain out of nowhere. And some of that was kind of brought on themselves, if you ask me. But to be debated for sure. But Spain did they were the rightful champs in my opinion. They just looked good. They looked like the better squad, and so good on them, and congrats to them. And was able to meet a few people here from Spain who are still on cloud nine, so that was pretty cool. But hey, listen, though, it was a fantastic World Cup. We talked to you on Saturday about an expansion. My guess is it probably happens. I don't know when. I'm not sure I'm a fan of it per se. I thought the 48 was good. We've only done that one time. But money talks, as we know. So, we'll see where they go forward with that. But tune in. Jess has got some great news as always. A lot of movement as always. Nice thing. I don't think we have a lot of talk about coaches being sacked for once. So that's a plus, right? But anyway, I will see you all next week. And again, hope you had a great week. Go have a great weekend. I'm a little bit heartbroken to be leaving Europe, but it will be nice to get back to my own bed. But like I said before in the intro, like, if y'all ever get a chance to come over here, do it. It's something else. So with that being said, Jessica will have a killer show, and I'm looking forward to getting back with Jess and the rest of you all next week. So take care of yourselves, everybody. We'll see you soon.
All right, that was Big Mike sending a message from Ireland. I would love to go. It's a dream, That is a dream, and he's living the dream, man. So jealous of him over there. All right, like he said, there's a lot of movement going on. A lot of movement that I've seen lately, as of late. We're gonna be moving into the MLS first. Talking transfers here. Lots and lots of movement here. Cody Baker is moving from the Seattle Sounders to the New England Revolution. Now, this is not a permanent transfer. He's going to be on loan in exchange for a first-round pick in the 2027 Super Draft. If he meets specific performance criteria, then the deal becomes permanent. This move it's highly practical, low risk, high reward. Now, when I kind of was researching this a little bit, first round picks, super drafts, this is so American this is an Americanized, because I've never heard of a super draft in any other league besides the MLS. But that's neither here nor there. So we'll see how that works out for the New England Revs. Robert Taylor is headed to LA. Galaxy have signed Taylor from Austin FC, so going from kind of a humid heat to more of a dry heat. Which to me, I feel like a dry heat is a little bit more tolerable. That's just me. Anyway, he's moving on a free transfer. He's a free agent. And this move is going to be for the remainder of the MLS season. This is considered an excellent signing, and he's tactically versatile, this guy. He's kind of one of those players, very good players, that you can basically just plug and play. He can play in the front line or anywhere in the midfield, which is such a rare thing. I feel like we've talked about, it being kind of a rare thing for players to be able to be versatile and be able to play front line, midfield, back line. And it kind of feels like maybe it's more people than we think. So it may not be as rare as we thought, but in the grand scheme of things, if you're looking at MLS as a whole, it's not that common for this to happen. So excellent signing for Galaxy. Be on the lookout for Galaxy too. Not just with Robert Taylor, but with Kyogo Furuhashi, for a fee of roughly €1 million. and he's coming from Birmingham City, which is not quite Premier League. It's the championship. The deal goes through 2030-2031 season. And to me, this just seems like I'm kind of wondering if maybe not Birmingham City, but the player was the one that initiated this, because I'm pretty sure Birmingham City didn't initiate this, because this is a massive loss for them. They only signed Kyogo a year ago, and they paid 9 million euros for him then, a year ago. They're losing 8 million euros on this guy. Crazy. But good on Galaxy. Brilliant upside acquisition for them. And he's going to be that kind of neutral elite number 9. And considering the fact that he's coming from the championship, he's played European on the European stage, which to me feels like a bigger stage. It feels like a much bigger stage than the MLS. The MLS has just seemed, in the past, maybe not so much recently, sorry about that, guys, that it's more of a retirement league, it seems. So have a player of his caliber coming into coming into MLS, it's crazy. I mean, this is going to be a number 9. It's a 5-year contract. So he's 31 now, which is kind of at the end of the peak part of his career, but we'll see. Like I said, it's a 5-year contract for a 31-year-old player who relies heavily on sharp movement and quick bursts of pace, carries some regression risk down the line. So we'll see if this is a good long-term signing versus, because I mean, it's going to help them now, but we don't know what this is going to look like down the road. And it's kind of one of those things. We don't really know for sure. But we'll see how it goes. I know Galaxy really, really struggled last season, especially to get even to the table last season. And this season, this season's kind of they're kind of mid-table this season at number 10 right now. We'll see if they break through the mid-table this season, but there's a lot of football left in the season. We're about to go into Leagues Cup right now. Nashville have signed Elias Said on loan from FC Augsburg, which is over in the Bundesliga. So they're getting a German player over there. It's a year-long loan that's running through the 2027 sprint season. Now, if you're wondering, sprint season, what the heck? Just kind of a reminder, this season right now is the last. For now, who knows? We'll see if they change in the future. MLS season that will end in December. Next season, they're going to have what is called a sprint season that's going from February to May. And then they're going to switch over to a European calendar where they start around August, September, and they'll end about May. His contract's going through the sprint season. Now, this signing, it's highly appraised. Ambitious signing. Low risk, high reward, and because it's a TAM level loan. Now, let me just remember. Sure, it's targeted allocation money, TAM. Because this is a TAM loan with level loan with a buy option, Nashville gets a prime-aged international winger without committing massive long-term capital. So if he struggles to adapt to the MLS, they can just return him to Augsburg. Which I don't know why you'd want to leave Germany anyway. Especially to go to Nashville. Not that there's anything wrong with Nashville. I've been there, but it just kind of seems a little bit of a wonky time. But who knows? We'll see how maybe this could be part of player development in some way, shape, or form. So Columbus Crew, going up a little bit north of Nashville, sign Eric Bailey as a free agent through June 2027. That will be next June. It's a low-risk gamble on an elite pedigree here. There's no long-term financial gap. There are concerns about him staying fit because of his history of injuries. So that's a concern there. However, if he can stay fit, he'll be a top-tier defender on an MLS pitch, which is so mind-boggling. Good luck to whoever plays Columbus Crew with him on the pitch, is all I have to say about that. But if he's not able to stay fit, he's a luxury depth piece that's sitting there on the bench. Better to have him and not need him than need him and not have him. That kind of a situation. Moving over to the West Coast, San Jose Earthquakes have signed Luka Janovic for me, this just seems like a very low price. 600,000 euros from the Australian A-League Adelaide United. His contract's going to run through 2027-28 season, and he's a youngster. He's 21. Okay, so he's going to occupy an under 22 initiative spot, which is brilliant for them. He's an excellent high upside signing. He's won A-League Golden Boot Award. The A-League Golden Boot Award. Has an elite finisher profile, and he turned pro at 17. So this kid, he's not as green as you would think he was, but he's also getting to the prime age, you know? And with him occupying an under 22 initiative spot, they don't have to break the bank. So there's that salary cap utilization. So I see you, San Jose. You being all smarticles over there. So, Thomas Alvarez is headed to Chile on loan to the Chilean club O'Higgins. Now, he kind of was sort of with Inter Miami, but he spent the first half of this season on loan with CF Montreal. And this loan to O'Higgins is going to run through the 2026 Chilean season, which runs kind of like the MLS, and it runs through December 31st. This is going to free up an under 22 initiative spot, similar to what we were talking about with San Jose, but for Inter Miami on the East Coast. High value, low risk defensive coup. And honestly, this is kind of a reset for Alvarez. I mean, yes, it is amazing and it is incredible that he is highly talented, but he's also been known for being occasionally reckless. In late last year, he received a 3-game suspension for throwing punches at the Leagues Cup. And early this year, when he debuted for CF Montreal, he picked up a red card on his debut. So they're kind of hitting the reset button for him. Now, him going to Chile, I feel like this is shouldn't be as much of a surprise for him because, well, quite frankly, he's familiar with Chile. He played for Chile's under-20 national team, and he also has maternal roots in Chile. So he's in kind of some familiar territory, so there won't be as much of a culture shock as if someone else was going there. So hopefully this loan to O'Higgins will help give him a reset. Give him a second chance, because we all deserve second chances and a chance to start over, you know? So hopefully maybe he can kind of mature a little bit and maybe get a little more level-headed. But we'll see. We'll see. Now, this is not transfer news, but Portland Timbers have appointed Marty Cifuentes as their head coach. Now, his last coaching gig was with Leicester City, and this is kind of a reset for him too, because he parted ways with Leicester City after only 6 months with them, which I believe was earlier this year when they parted ways with him. It's a 3-year contract, and he's going to take over once his work visa is finalized, once that whole process is finalized. So hopefully it's going to be a good move for both parties. But as with everything else, we will see. I do have a little bit of news coming out of the USL. A little bit of transfer news. Tristan Henry is headed to Las Vegas Lights FC. And I don't know how much the transfer fee is. It's not disclosed. The contract is for the remainder of the season, and this is considered a highly strategic, low-risk acquisition. So, I mean, this guy is absolutely amazing because he's a 2-time Canadian Premier League, which, yes, Canada has a Premier League, Golden Glove winner, which says a lot about him. So, I mean, he's coming from FC Tulsa, and he's going to Las Vegas. So that's going to be so fun for him, I feel like. And what kind of makes him dangerous, and what makes me kind of say, whoever's playing Las Vegas Lights, man, watch out for this goalkeeper, because he is considered the most successful goalkeeper in Canadian Premier League. Because not only is he a 2-time Golden Glove winner for the CPL, but he also has 4 league titles with Forge FC, and over 155 appearances across the CPL and the USL, he has 53 clean sheets. That's an impressive record. So it's definitely highly strategic and low risk for Las Vegas, but congrats to them, man. Congrats to them. And we're going to go south of the border for a little bit before we take a quick break. We're going to go to Liga MX. Little news out of Liga MX. There will be no more promotion relegation. They are done with the promotion relegation system. Now, according to Article 35 of their new rule book, there's going to be no more promotion relegation system. They're going to be doing doing it similar to the MLS. There's going to be no movement between tiers, no relegation fines, and no second tier payouts. Originally, they suspended the promotion relegation for 5 years back in 2020. So that expired last year. It started during the pandemic to protect others from financial ruin. I get it, but I'm also thinking, why for 5 years? Why are you suspending it for 5 years? Makes no sense. Now, the Court of Arbitration for Sport, which talked about a couple of weeks ago with regards to a maternity case in Italy, they are kind of the big kahunas of sport law across the world. Okay. They recommended a return to the original format to the 26-27 season, which this season. But the Mexican Football Federation and Liga MX owners pushed back heavily on this. The aim is going to be to secure long-term financial stability, protecting wealthy ownership groups from losing asset value, and invite heavy foreign investment ahead of a rumored future North American merger or deep partnership with the MLS, which honestly, this last part doesn't surprise me at all because we're already doing the Leagues Cup, which includes Liga MX. It's basically Liga MX versus the rest of North America because MLS also spans into Canada. Again, that's kind of a rumored merger. Very rumored. I don't quite agree with this because I think clubs need motivation to go into, like, to continue to do better. Because otherwise you're going to have basically an LA Galaxy situation where one season you're on top, next season you're basically at the bottom of the food chain. So I don't quite agree with it personally, but I don't make the rules. And as far as the whole protect wealthy ownership groups from losing asset value, I'm like, the Premier League does it all the time. It's called a gamble for a reason. It's called making sure your teams do well. But yeah, we'll see how well that works out for them. I mean, it's probably going to stay because they haven't used it in 5 years. But yeah. All right, guys. We're going to take a quick break. You've been watching Shin Pads and Shenanigans right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. See you guys after the break.
For the last 10 years, IE Sports Radio has been bringing you amazing content ranging from interviewing legendary athletes, coaches, and other authorized media personnel to building tailor-made shows dedicated to all major sports cities around the country. Make sure to follow us at IE Sports Radio on X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube to keep up with the latest in sports and with all of our shows. Also, make sure to check out our daily updated website at iesportsradio.com. At iesportsradio.com, you can see our daily show schedule and check out all of our show pages with personal bios to learn a little bit more about each of our awesome hosts. In addition to our show pages, you can catch the IE Sports Radio blog, Hall of Fame, Fans of the Month page, and our merchandise shop including t-shirts, tank tops, caps, long sleeves, hoodies, and more. For now over a decade here at IE Sports Radio, we've continued to be by the fans, for the fans, and we thank you all for your support and for making IE Sports Radio your direct feed for all that is sports.
All right, welcome back to Shin Pads and Shenanigans right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Moving across the pond to the EFL Championship League. So, a while back, we talked about Spygate, where an intern was caught spying for Southampton. And we also talked more recently about how Southampton hired said intern on a permanent role. I'm pretty sure both parties are still being investigated, but Southampton manager has been charged by the FA. They have charged Tana Eckert, the Southampton manager, with 3 breaches of rules related to spying on opponents. He has until Tuesday, July the 28th to reply, but reports suggest that he will not contest the charges, as he shouldn't, because he is guilty. It's kind of clear on that matter. Now, could he end up facing a lengthy sentence to suspend all football activity? And I'm also kind of wondering what's going to happen to the intern turned analyst. Is he going to have to suspend all football-related activity? And if Eckert has to face a lengthy sentence, I guess we're going to have to see what he ends up doing after this, because he's going to have to get a real... I'm not going to say real job, because that's a little condescending. He's going to have to get a job outside of football, a regular people job. We might see him as a bagger for groceries at the store, which these days doesn't really say much. Yeah. Moving on. The Wolverhampton Wanderers, who were recently relegated, had to cancel practice recently because of a player refusing to leave the pitch. Tolu, not going to try to pronounce the last name, was told not to train with the first team, but he stood his ground both literally and figuratively. Now, the new manager insists that he can have a firm hand with the players. This doesn't seem to be working. Tolu staged a protest by sitting down in the middle of the pitch, refusing to leave, in hopes to force a transfer. Now he's been completely frozen out of first team activities, and basically he's being treated like a pariah. And yeah, I mean, if you're gonna do something like this, what is it? What word am I trying to find here? This is kind of one of those peaceful protest situations. But I'm also kind of thinking, I feel like there's a better, more professional way to do this. Not that he was being super unprofessional, but it makes him look really bad. And he did state on social media that he did not maliciously disrupt practice and that he is intent on fulfilling his contract obligations. The fact that he protested makes it feel like, I mean, you already know he doesn't want to be there. So fulfilling contract obligations kind of makes it seem, oh, I guess if I have to be here, I'll do it if I have to be here, kind of a mentality, which is not something you want in a player at all. So we'll see how well that works out for him. I have no idea. I mean, it's a good way to get the attention of the people in charge of making those decisions, but it kind of does make you a pariah. So kind of makes me think, was it worth it? Was it worth it? I'm just saying. Moving on over into the Premier League, Liverpool might have a surprise minority stake owner, Jeff Bezos. Preliminary talks have been held to buy a minority stake in the club. He's only going to act as a primary financial backer. He's not going to try to run the club's day-to-day activities, which someone who knows nothing about football, which I don't know if he knows anything about it, but I would not want somebody who knows nothing about football anywhere near the day-to-day activities or anywhere near anything related to day-to-day activities. He would simply own a portion of that 30%, because FSG intends to maintain a majority control and operational power at Anfield. So likely things would pretty much stay status quo. They would just have Jeff Bezos as a minority stakeholder, which it just kind of feels like this is like there are a lot of people who just are like crazy. It just kind of feels like there's a lot of people that are like famous people that are like, oh, let me buy a stake in a club because that's what everybody else is doing. So anyway, moving on. Arsenal fans, could we see William Saliba out for the rest of the year? Now, when I initially read this, it was talking about how he could be out because he's having surgery on his back for chronic back issues. But when I further researched it yesterday, it's reported that he is starting an extensive managed recovery program under supervision of Arsenal's medical staff, which makes much more sense because you can have back surgery and not do anything for your back. It might do a little, but it might not give you what you want or what you need. So doing a managed recovery program might be the better route. Now, there's a possibility that he's going to be out for 4 to 5 months. All we know is it's an extended period. When I first read about this topic, he was going to be out 4 to 5 months, and we may not see him until 2027. But with this extended period of him being out, who knows how long that's going to be. And 4 to 5 months, that's almost into 2027 because we are already almost into August. Okay. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Now, let's get into the Premier League transfers. What's going on with player movement in Premier League in the last week or so? Aston Villa have signed João Gomes from Wolverhampton for £38 million package. It's a 40 million euro fixed fee with 5 million euros in add-ons. So he's back in the Premier League. And he's like, yes, back in the Premier League. Got relegated, back in the Premier League. Don't have to play in the Championship. This is going to be a 5-year contract, and for Aston Villa, it's considered a calculated high floor signing. Now, let me make sure I'm telling you this correctly. Just because I want to make sure that this is all well and good. Now, when it comes to analytics and scouting, a calculated high floor signing refers to deliberately purchasing a reliable low risk player whose baseline level of performance is guaranteed to be high. Which makes sense. They might lack the flashy world class potential to single-handedly lead a league. They are strategically acquired because they minimize errors, provide consistent tactical utility, and prevent the team's overall performance from dropping. Great for Aston Villa, who were basically mid-table last season. Now, this guy is known, Gomez is known as a tackling machine, and also known to have a pit bull profile. In the last full Premier League season, he averaged 3.5 tackles per 90 minutes. Yeah, that happened. They are paying £34 million up front for a 10-cap Brazilian international in his full prime, and it's an exceptional value in the modern market. Because the Wolves were relegated, Villa have managed to bypass the usual inflated Premier League tax to land him. So, great deal for them. He is primarily known as a defensive disruptor, which you kind of would hear that because he tackles. So you kind of would figure that makes sense. We'll see how well things go for Aston Villa with him. And speaking of Aston Villa, they have sent Andres Garcia out on loan to La Liga team Tafe CF. This is a season-long loan with no purchase option. This is considered a highly logical, necessary developmental move for a player whose career has stalled out. This is part of the reason players get loaned out for season-long loans. They need more minutes. They're cursed out. They're hitting the reset button. Some of the biggest reasons, most common reasons, that a player is loaned out. I mean, Garcia needed minutes, and he was facing yet another season buried on the bench. So, hopefully it's going to be it's going to be a return to Spain for him. He has played in Spain before. So, that's an advantage in and of itself. Now, moving on to Chelsea. Morgan Rogers has signed with Chelsea for a fee of £117 million. He's coming from Aston Villa, so we're still kind of talking about Aston Villa here. This is a historic record-breaking signing for Chelsea. Monumental maximum leverage signing. It's a 7-year contract. £117 million, 7-year contract. Now, the good thing is that Morgan is tactically fluid. He can play left wing, second striker, or central attacking midfielder. Now, Arsenal had spent months treating Rodgers as a priority target, and they had already agreed to personal terms with him. However, because the Gunners refused to bid past £80 million, Chelsea were able to swoop in, and they met Villa's valuation and closed the deal in a matter of days. Now, because of his fee of £117 million, there's no developmental curve. He has to deliver immediate results. And I'm just thinking, oh, the pressure on this kid. I mean, it's great that they got so much for him, but that puts a lot of pressure on the player. And it kind of makes me concerned that not only is like this is mounting pressure on this kid, which is going to cause him to push really hard, and it's going to end up leading to injuries, which is going to not be good for the team, for the player, or for the overall deal. So, yeah. We're going to move on over into the Bundesliga for a minute here. Maxime Esteve Steve is headed to RB Leipzig for a fee of 25 million euros with 7 million euros in add-ons. This is going to be a 5-year contract, and he's going to wear the number 3 jersey. This is a textbook high-value recruitment. He's a modern defender profile. He's resilient. And the front office even noted his vocal leadership and proactive defending. So that's a bonus. Leadership qualities is a bonus in a player. This is the first direct signing under the new manager, and if it's not going to be a great thing for the player and RB Leipzig have a track record of flipping central defenders for massive profits. So this represents a low financial risk for them. So they can just flip him if they are not liking what they're seeing. Now, we're going to talk a little bit about world soccer here. Specifically, we're going into Portugal. Vista have been forced to shut down due to financial issues after 123 years. They failed to meet the financial obligations during insolvency proceedings. They've been told to vacate the Estadio do Bessa by end of July. And we're talking everything. Huge gut out here, where it is everything related to the club, any personal belongings, everything. You think of a definition of everything, that's what needs to be out by end of July. The shutdown order is absolute, halting not just the football department, but all sports disciplines and activities conducted at the Estadio da Bessa and its adjacent facilities. The club's accumulated debts are estimated to exceed 100 million euros to 150 million euros, worsened by a highly controversial and disastrous tenure under owner Gerard Lopez. So I think a lot of people are probably blaming him for this. I don't know the details of his tenure or even how they got into this financial mess, but the fact of the matter is, we're here. They have to shut down. The club is going to be gone after 123 years. So, yeah. Now, for the final segment, and really the final topic, we're going to discuss one last thing. I mean, of course, World Cup was amazing and filled with so many interesting topics. And I'm so happy for Spain. I really am. I'm so happy for Spain that they won against Argentina. And I think if you look at it as a whole, the whole tournament, Spain were the stronger team, especially in these last few stages. They deserve it. Now, on to the last interesting topic of the 2026 World Cup. So, yep, I did put that. That is not a typo. Weight in tomatoes. Let me explain. Gavi and Fabian Ruiz were given their exact body weight in tomatoes as a gift for winning the World Cup. This is coming from their hometown. It's kind of a continuous. I mean, I wouldn't really say it's traditional because they've only done it once before. And this is a gesture that in the city which now boasts 3 world champions. The wholesome ceremony continues a proud local custom that originally began in 2010. At the time, veteran winger Jesus Navas became the first player from the small Andalusian town to lift the World Cup trophy, prompting local farmers to present him with his weight in produce. So this is going to be a thing for them. So it's definitely going to be a thing for them. And it's definitely an interesting story. Definitely an interesting story. But hey, you can make some pasta sauce with that. Right. You've been watching Shin Pads and Shenanigans right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Just a reminder, 2 weeks from today, August the 6th, there will be no show. I will be out of town. Matter of fact, I'll be out of state. Not out of the country like Big Mike, but I will be out of the state. And since our show is year-round, we're just going to be taking a break. So there will be no show on August the 6th, but we will return the following week. We will be here next week, but not the week after. All right, guys, you've been watching Shin Pads and Shenanigans right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We'll see you guys next week.
1, 2, 3, 4. IE Sports Radio. Let's kick it. From the Premier League to the Serie A, we're tracking the beautiful game every day. La Liga, Bundesliga, crossing the map, but we bring it right back for the CONCACAF snap. Yeah, the NWSL is setting the pace, and the MLS is running the race. Shin Pads and Shenanigans, we're taking the pitch from the local turf to the global switch. IE Sports Radio, the whistle blows loud. Jess and Big Mike, we're rocking the crowd.
Champions League on the Tuesday night lights.
World Cup summer's reaching incredible heights.
From J-League to Liga MX in the sun.
College pitches where the legends begun.
If the ball is rolling, we're breaking it down. The biggest soccer show in the whole Shin Pads and Shenanigans, we're taking the pitch
from the local turf to the global switch. IE Sports Radio, the whistle blows loud.